gossip to tell you about, some workplace shenanigans to tell you about, of course, with our usual. So, sit back or lay down and relax. Close your eyes if you want to, because what you see isn't important, it's what you hear. And just listen to the shenanigans of the week. So, this week, I was at the medical school because we have a few days left just to, have a check-in, learn a few things. Am I paying attention? No. But there's some very important things, very important topics that are happening. So the first session, I get in the med school, and I am 15 minutes early, as usual. You know me, early as usual. And if there's stuff in the background, please ignore it. I can't control the outside world, but what we can do together is just focus and control what we're focusing on. So, that being said, I get to the med school 15 minutes early, and I'm messaging my friend because two friends of mine live together in the same block. Not together, but in the same block, and they come together, and they're still not there. Usually they're there on time. And so I messaged them like, I just need to know what you're gonna do, because I need to know that we're gonna sit together and make sure that we know what we're doing, because if I don't do that, then I have no idea what's gonna happen, and I feel like it's not gonna be a great thing to do. So that's that, and I'm messaging that to them, and she's like, well, we're running late because of a certain someone. And I'm like, just say the name. Just say the name. There's only two of you. I know who it is, just say the name. But I think they was trying to be like less dramatic, so she said that he was going to be like, and he was telling her to wait outside for their bed. Then he was like, oh my god, I'm running late, and just feeling that we were completely late. Don't need you on him, but then he was like, it's going to get that, it's just not going to happen. And then so we got there, and it's just like, oh my goodness, and then you were like, well, I waited 25 minutes for him, and then I just felt like, and I was like, oh, that's not very good then, because they agreed that they would meet together at 8 a.m. in the morning at the front. And she said she was there at 7:58 on the dot. And I know she was, because she actually messaged me at 7:55 saying, oh hey, I'm ready. Let us know when you get there. We might be able to pick you up on the way. And I was like, great, that's fine, don't worry about it. Some kids are whistling in the background for no freaking reason in the middle of the night, but push that aside. Yeah, and apparently she was waiting, and they agreed 8 a.m. Then it was 8:10, 8:15, 8:20, nothing, no movements, nothing. And so 8:35 comes about. I think it was 8:35, 8:40. And then it was like, she said that he came out and he wasn't even ready. He just woke up and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm ready to go, and we're just gonna get ready to go, and it's gonna be like that. Bear in mind the session starts at 8:45. So I got there for 8:30 and 8:30, and she was planning to get there for 8:30 as well by leaving at 8 o'clock because they live a bit further. And well, actually they don't really, but they just wanted to get there early. Well, she wanted to get there early, and so he comes plodding along, 8:35 or 8:40, not ready, just woken up, and he's like, oh my god, yeah, just give me a couple minutes, I'll get ready. She wasn't having it. Obviously she wasn't too impressed, but that's just how it is. And so we get there, and he was like, oh my god, like I just come and I'm gonna get there. Don't worry, we're not gonna be late, it's not gonna be like the walking attendance or anything. We just have to share the sheet and be on and feel like that. And I understand that it's not that important to be at these sessions, but they do take a register, like they sign your attendance. I know it's awful, but they sign your attendance because to know that you're engaging, because if you're not engaging in it, it means you're not a great person, and apparently, it means you're not that you're not a great person, but it means you're not interested, and there's problems there, and they have to look into it, and it's a whole thing with the General Medical Council, like the attendance is really important for those sessions, I don't know why. And so she was worried about being late, so at that point, they came out again, be like 9:10 anyway, so they're already late. And he was like, oh, I might as well have breakfast. Without telling her, he starts, and I'm just like, well, why is he having breakfast now when you're already late? I'm gonna sit in, I'm gonna save you 2 spaces, but it's gonna be really difficult for you to come in late and not be noticed because just the way the layout of the rooms are. So that's that. And apparently they got in the car and they drove and they didn't speak the entire journey because they got there at 9:25ish, around that time. And they come in the classroom. Because the door was so loud, they opened the classroom door and all eyes were on them like hawks. I mean, I turned around as well because I'm like, what the hell is this? And so they all eyes on them, and he was like, oh my god, I'm sorry, basically she took too long. And I was just turning around like, how can you blame her for you guys being late? That's so inappropriate. He literally went and said, it's all about you, traffic would be slower, we could have got here a lot quicker, and it's not much he could do because there wasn't anything going on at the time, and he was just nothing like that. He was just getting ready, and he was ready, and everything like that. And I felt really bad for her because she's the type of person who doesn't like conflict. And I could tell that this other friend was taking advantage of that because she doesn't say anything. And I turned around and I was like, I got involved. I shouldn't get involved, but it just, injustice hurts me. So I turned around and I was like, oh, but I was messaging her and she was on time. So something must have happened between you guys or with you. And I just said that out loud in the middle of the session. Bear in mind, we're disrupting the session at this point. And so he was shocked because he didn't think anyone would say anything. She was shocked as well. I don't think they expected me to say anything. It wasn't my place, but I said it. I'm sorry. And then basically he was like, oh my god, okay, we're just gonna sit down. And so when he sat down, he was just like, okay, we're not gonna do this. I'm just not gonna bury it. I'm just gonna move on with my life and do whatever I need to do because that's gonna be like that. I'm just gonna do it like that. But I'm just gonna do that. So the table was like a round table, a circular table. And the one that I'm on, there was multiple circular tables in this big room. So after this little exchange happened, I saved 2 seats either side of me, my bag and my jacket. There was so many spare seats, so I just had 2 seats on either side. And so, oh my god, these kids, where are their parents? Why are they out in the middle of the night? I actually hate these neighbours so much because they just are parenting. Even though I don't have children, but still, I wouldn't let my kids out on the middle of the street. God knows what they're doing at 9 p.m. or whatever time it is. I'm in the evening that I'm filming this. It's very late for a child, and they look very small, maximum 10 years old. I don't know why they're outside at night, but that's fine. Other people's kids, not my kids, other people's kids. Whew, over my head. So yeah, he sits there, and she sits on the other side, and then in the middle of it, like 3 minutes later, he gets up, and as he gets up, he says, oh, actually, I don't want to sit here because I don't feel comfortable sitting here because I was like accused of doing things that I'm not actually doing, and I feel like it's not a good reflection on me, and I feel like it makes me look really bad, but it's like what it is, and I feel like other times it's not going to be that great because when it is, it's just not that good to begin with. And I'm just like, why are you making a scene? Let's just move on. Let's just sit down. Pay attention. I was not paying attention. Pay attention and let's get along. There's not long left of this process. We just need to like get on and move on. And I was just like, we can go to eat afterwards or something and get some lunch. They did not like that. They did not like that. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why do you not want to get lunch? And then when the time came, he was like, I'm gonna go to and I'm gonna buy something, and I don't know whether you want to come with me or not, but I feel like when you come, it's not gonna be that great anyway, so you can just kind of slow me down. And I was like, he wanted to go to this supermarket, and it's about a 10-minute walk, and we had a 20-minute lunch, and I was like, I brought food. I don't know whether you guys brought food or not, but I brought food, and I don't want to walk 20 minutes and not be able to eat my lunch peacefully, you know. And I have a bad stomach anyways, bad digestive tract, I don't know. Food doesn't agree with me at the moment, so I made my plain cheese sandwich, like plain mozzarella cheese and a little bit of butter, plain, only because I couldn't stomach anything that particular day, so I made that. I really had it, so I sat down and I started eating it, and then my friend, she also played the one on the left, they're both my friends, but the one on the left, she had her lunch already made, so we started eating it, and he just sat there, and he was like, oh my god, you guys probably should told me that we're gonna bring food. If I didn't have this, I thought you guys were gonna come with me and eat, and I'm just gonna do that. And it's not really great. If I knew that, I would have prepared something beforehand. And then she just, I don't know what happened with my friend on the left, she just snapped. She went and just snapped. She was like, how dare you say things like that? Like, it's no point in me doing that. You took so long to get ready in the morning. How are you gonna even prepare your food? I would have been even late. I would have missed the session. I would have got in trouble, and it would have all been because of you. And you're telling me now that we're putting you at a disadvantage. We're taking away from your lunch because we want to walk with you to get things. And then he was taken aback because this was the first time, I think, ever in their sort of friendship that she spoke up against this person. And I was just like, in the middle, like, things happening left and right. So I just said, look, the canteen is open. If you want to go to the canteen, just go. We'll be here. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to go into the next bit without you. Just go. And so he went to get some food because I was like, you can't be on an empty stomach. And then she says all he's gonna do is he's gonna go there and say things are too expensive, and then he's gonna come back and then want some of our food. And I was like, no way, he won't do that. I'm sure he'll buy something, you know. I mean, it's his stomach, his responsibility. He's not a child. Again, not my child. I do this as I'm throwing the responsibility over my head. And so he comes back and he was like, oh my god, it was way too expensive. There's like literally nothing I could afford. I'm gonna be starving the whole day. I'm gonna be starving the whole night, and it's too expensive. And I was just like, why didn't you just buy a snack? So I was like, you could have just bought a snack because there's not long of the day left. And literally it's like midday at this point. Just buy a snack and move on. Excuse me. Oh, gas. Reflux. Told you, I'm all over the place. For that unscheduled interruption again. He was like, yeah, it's too expensive even for a snack. And I was like, well, you should have prepared for this. Like, come on, if you didn't want to buy anything. He said, the timetable of the day, they produce the timetable of the day well in advance, like 3 weeks in advance, so you know how much time is there. That's why I was like, you could have prepared for this. And then she made a snarky comment and was like, well, you never prepared for anything. That's why we were like 20 minutes late this morning. And I was just like, oh my god, that snarky comment does not help our situation right now. And so, sorry, I'm just conscious of the time as well, because I have to go somewhere. In the middle of the night, you say, yes, I'm visiting my cousins because one of my cousins is getting married soon. Hooray. So yeah, I'm just going to see them very briefly and then come back home. But yeah, so I was just like, this fire needs to be put out. And he just retorted with, I'm not going to ignore you right now because I'm hungry and I'm going to say things that I'm going to regret. And if you think I'm going to be really going to hold back and just because you're my friend, it don't make any difference. I don't think I'm just, I'm not bothering with you anymore. You just have to do that. I'm just going to be like that. And she turned around and said, well, if that's the case, well, you can find your own way home. And I turned around and I was just like, Lord, help me, please. And so he was like, fine, I'm finding my own way home. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? You can't do these things. I feel like you should just tell me and just come together and just do this. And then you talk it out. I feel like it's a public thing. And you shouldn't be talking about this like that and things like that. Everybody in this situation. And I was just like, to reiterate, I was just like, you guys have been friends for ages. Don't lose your good friendship over these moments. Go home, talk it out, argue in private. Whether it gets better or worse, that's up to you. But this is it's involving too many people and I'm in the middle of it. Why is this kid screaming? I don't know. But I think this is a good way to end it. I'll let you know if they mend their relationship in the next installment of these gossip videos. But let me know if you do want a part 2 of this one, and I will leave you because these kids are getting on my nerves and I need to go to my cousin's house, and I shall see you later.